I was making 6 figures in sales and my life was completely miserable. If you're in sales, you might be feeling this because you're making good money, most likely more than you ever have in your life, but you're still stressed, feeling stuck, and wondering, is this all it's gonna be? Is this everything in my career? Because let's be real, making 10K, 20K, 50K a month means absolutely nothing if you have zero control over your life and your future. So let's talk about why I walked away from that life and how you can too. And trust me, if you think sales is gonna be the end all for your career, you're playing the wrong game. See, when I first started making 6 figures in sales, you couldn't tell me anything. I was pumped. I felt like my friends were impressed, my family was, and my entire schedule was built around cold calling, prospecting, emailing, DMing, having conversations, and closing deals towards quota. But it wasn't long until I realized this was just a cycle, a vicious cycle that I would continue to have to play in order to be successful. See, every month, every quarter, every year, the scoreboard goes back to zero. And that's an extremely deflating position to be in. You're working hard. You're literally performing each day, showing up like an athlete, training your mind, developing yourself personally, but you're expendable. And if you're in sales right now and you aren't afraid that you're gonna lose your job, be replaced by AI, or if you hit a bad month, get fired, you're playing a very dangerous game. I know these things kept me up at night, and on my off time, I was checking my emails, checking my LinkedIn connections to see if I could find that next deal, that next person that would get me that much closer to quota. And I was great at this, suppressing all areas of my life, health, relationships in order to be successful. And the worst part was even my best months, I didn't actually feel free at all. I had money to take vacation. I had PTO and time saved up, but I didn't take it. Why? Because I was afraid about what it would look like. And I knew if I took a week or two off, I was just cutting my chances in half of hitting my number. But the moment that actually made me question everything wasn't my worst month in sales. It wasn't missing quota. It wasn't having a tough conversation with my manager. It was actually after my biggest commission check ever. I remember looking at my bank account, seeing more money in there than I ever had before in my life, and quickly realizing I was still on borrowed time. Because deep down, I knew I had built nothing. I was just another employee completely dependent on one singular source of income that could cut me or fire me at any point in time. The moment I got that commission check, I realized how much time it took me to get there. This was 1 calendar year of building relationships, finding the decision makers, doors slammed in my face, phone calls hung up, told internally and externally, don't mess with this deal, don't mess with this account, just leave that for the big boys. But I closed a $7.2 million deal, and I thought I was gonna make hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what actually happened is they found a fine line in my employee handbook that actually capped how much I could make. And me being a young, dumb sales rep, I didn't look into those things and didn't realize, oh, if I massively overachieve in my job, I'm not gonna make all the money that they're telling me I'm going to make. And after all that work, all those conversations, that entire year, the pressure cooker of having that cycle of going to bed late, waking up early, staying in the office late, all for an employer that could potentially fire me if I don't do the same damn thing again. And again, and again, and again. So this was a short-term game, and unless I was prepared to do this until retirement, I knew I needed to have something that was a reoccurring model where I didn't have to go and hustle every 30 days in this cycle in order to get a paycheck. I couldn't do this anymore. I couldn't do it. And when I looked at the guys ahead of me, the top earners in the company, the people that have been doing this for 10, 15 years, they were either moving out of sales into some account management position and really just lowering their standards, making less money to get out of that pressure cooker, or they stayed in it, and while they had the job and the house and the family and all these things, it was almost like a golden cage where they were imprisoned. They couldn't really enjoy any of the fruits of their labor, but on paper they looked successful, and their bodies took a toll. Their health took a toll. Their relationships took a toll. And anytime I got a job, I would look at the people ahead of me and be like, are those the people I want to be like? Is that what I want my future to be? The answer was no. And I'm assuming if you're watching this video until this point, the answer is no for you too. And that's when I knew I had two choices. I could keep going down this path and I clearly could see the cost of doing so. Or I could take the same skills that I was making my employers and these faceless shareholders millions of dollars per year and start deploying that into my own business, into my own revenue generating machine that could pay me regardless if I hit quota each month. So I was done making somebody else rich and started investing in myself. And this is when everything changed. And it's actually a funny story, and it goes to prove that once you start asking yourself a question enough times, your brain will start searching for another way and find the answers. I was scrolling after work, trying to numb myself so I could prepare for another day of trying to be the man, go and hit quota, all the things. And I saw one of those Here in My Garage ads. And before you go, whoa, okay, look, no, I'm not posting on people's social media or something like that. But what he was saying actually struck a chord with me. Just the simple fact that he was saying you could get businesses to pay you $1,000 to $10,000 a month by providing a simple service that saved them time, got them more customers. All the dots started to connect for me. And look, I didn't create some crazy business or go and invent something. I didn't spend years and years in college to do this or have to take out a massive loan and have a huge risk in order to work for myself. I just looked at my 9 to 5. What was I doing already? How could I do that for myself? Where's the money going? These are the questions that I was asking. So I was working for an agency that they essentially sold social media packages and websites and SEO and blogs, and they did a whole bunch of different digital marketing services. And one of the hottest things we were selling were the services that generated leads. So I asked my manager, who really just was about their own quota, about their own forecast. And I said, hey, if I sat with the fulfillment team and just learned a little bit about what they do, I bet I could sell way better and we could hit your number. Sound good? They said yes. They were excited. They felt like I was taking the initiative, but really I was plotting. I was planning because I knew nobody else would do this for me. Not my friends, not my family, and certainly not my employer. So I went down to the fulfillment team. There was one particular package that we sold more than others, which was getting more leads for businesses or lead generation. And they did that through simple ads on social media. So I sat with the fulfillment team. I was like, hey, can you show me just how you create one of these ads or how much ad spend goes into it? I said, sure. Sat down on the computer. It took them 3 minutes to show me exactly what they do. And after that 3 minutes, I was shocked. I was like, that's it? That's all it took? And we're charging them how much? Most of the people we were charging were $2,500 a month. So I was closing these deals, making a tiny commission. Meanwhile, my employer, month after month, year after year, was locking these people into contracts and making reoccurring revenue off of my one sale. And it took them 3 minutes to fulfill. The ROI and the profitability of this business blew my mind. I was like, no way this is happening. I thought it was so much more complex. I thought I was gonna go into the basement and see a bunch of matrix code and people who had degrees for a decade doing this stuff. No, it was incredibly simple. So at that moment, I said, all right, I can do this myself. I can sell these packages, fulfill it myself, keep all the commission, sell a customer once, and keep them month after month, year after year. And no, you shouldn't burn the boat and just quit your job. I didn't do that. I said, okay, what businesses need this? Let me go contact them on the side, set up some meetings on my lunch break or in the parking lot of my job, close some business on the side, build this up, and then quit. So that's what I did. I found a screen printing company out of Detroit, called them, sent them a LinkedIn message, emailed them. I hit the front desk, the gatekeeper, left a message. Business owner called me back and I actually closed them for $2,500 per month. This is when everything exploded in my brain. I was like, oh, I just made a $30,000 deal with one phone call and they're gonna pay me month after month and I don't have to have a boss around it. I control my own destiny here. And that's when the guardrails of my brain broke off and I knew I could quit my job. I knew I could build this up. So over the next couple months, I just stacked clients, walked into my manager's cubicle and said, I put in my 2 weeks and the rest is history. I haven't gone back to a job for well over 5 years now at this point, and I've built up my company to multiple 7 figures. I've actually built up 2 businesses to the 7-figure level. We just went to Vegas and received 2 Comma Club awards from Russell Brunson, .com Secrets, ClickFunnels, one of the biggest digital marketers in the space. Got to go on stage, shake their hand, hold up the awards, all the fun stuff. It was incredible. But I think back, if I didn't scratch that itch, if I didn't say, let me go try something on the side. Let me just pick up the phone. Let me send an email. Let me send a DM. Where would I be right now? Probably working for somebody else. I'd have a boss. I'd be stressed out about quota. I'd be stacking up PTO, never taking time off. But now I've got a business model that pays me every month and has no limits whatsoever. And I'm not the only one here. I'm not special or anything like that. I was an average salesman that decided to take my skill set and build my own company. And I've helped a lot of people do that as well. So I'll roll a couple testimonials of folks who have done this as well.
I've been a part of Growth School since the day that I started my business about 6 months ago. And since then, I went from hitting $0 per month to 13K reoccurring revenue. And then last month I hit 20K for the first time, which was absolutely insane.
My name's Sam. I'm currently running at 10K per month USD. Their support, their help, their knowledge, their expertise. And it's been something that's changed my business completely.
I wanted to make this video to give Derek and David a shout out for creating such an amazing community and platform. Since joining Growth School, I've literally seen growth in my business. I have gained more clients. I've been able to literally raise my retainers. If you're ready to see your agency grow, I completely recommend getting Growth School. Get in Growth School.
Giant shout out to Derek and the Growth School team. Highly recommended. We've almost 2x our business already. If you guys aren't doing it, highly recommend it. Derek knows his stuff. These guys run a 7-figure agency. Definitely take advantage if you can.
So look, you've seen the results, you've seen the case studies. So here's my question to you. How long are you willing to stay stuck? How long do you want to have the Sunday scaries? You're already doing the work. You're prospecting, you're closing deals, you're managing client relationships. The problem is you're just doing it for somebody else. Imagine if you took those same skills and started investing into your own company, something that will let you live life on your own terms. Look, I've got a link down below where you can book a call with myself to see if this is a good fit for you and if you're in a good position to build something like this as well. And I'll be straight up honest with you. I'm not gonna take you on as a client if I feel like you can't be successful. My name is on the line, my reputation is on the line, so we won't waste any time. We'll have a quick conversation, see if it's a good fit, and I'm happy to provide the resources that are going to help you get there, build up some wealth on the side so you can go and be in a good position to quit your job and run your own show. You probably want to be your own boss if you're watching this video at this point. So what are you waiting for? Book the call. I've got a link down below and let's have a chat. We can have a quick conversation. In worst case, you just go back to doing what you've always done. No harm, no foul. Best case, you finally escape sales for good. You start building a business that works for you, not the other way around. Not taking small commission checks, not being afraid to take PTO, not dealing with the stress of sales managers and pressures of quota and all these things. But whatever you do, don't just sit there because nothing changes if nothing changes. So if you made it this far, would love you to book a call, would love to have a conversation. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe. I'm going to be putting out more content like this all the time for you guys. So really appreciate your support and I'll see you in the next video.